Imagine a time when the world was still a vast unknown, waiting to be explored. A time when the horizon seemed endless, and the sea was both friend and foe. This is the age of exploration, a time when explorers set sail on a quest for new lands, new riches, and new knowledge. But what was it like to live in this age of discovery? What were the challenges they faced, the dangers they encountered, and the secrets they uncovered? Join us as we take you on a journey through time to uncover the mysteries of this fascinating era. Ever wonder what convinced these brave souls to ditch their cozy homes and venture into the wild unknown? Back in the age of exploration, there were a bunch of things that intrigued these explorers. But what factors, you may ask? Well, one of the most significant reasons behind exploration was the desire for wealth and resources. Back in the 15th century, European nations were eager to find new sources of gold, silver, spices, and other valuable commodities. This led to the establishment of trade routes and colonies in far-off lands, as nations sought to gain a competitive edge in the global marketplace. Political motivations also played a role in driving exploration. European nations were competing for power and influence, and controlling new territories was seen as a way to gain an advantage over rivals. Monarchs sponsored expeditions in order to expand their empires, establish trading posts, or claim new lands for their countries. Religious motivations were also a factor in some cases. Many explorers were driven by religious beliefs, seeking to spread Christianity or find evidence of biblical stories. This led to the establishment of missionary outposts and the conversion of indigenous peoples. For instance, Francis Drake set sail on a mission to circumnavigate the globe in order to spread Protestantism in Spanish-held territories. Finally, personal ambition was a driving force for many explorers. They sought fame, fortune, and glory through their expeditions, often at great personal risk. This led to a spirit of competition and adventure that characterized the age of exploration. For example, Ferdinand Magellan set sail on an expedition that would ultimately result in his death, but also lead to his name being immortalized as part of one of history's most famous geographic features, the Magellanic Straits. Have you ever wondered how explorers were able to circumnavigate the globe during the age of exploration? It's a feat that seems almost impossible given the limitations of technology at the time. But thanks to a series of technological advancements, it became a reality. So, first up, let's start navigation tools. Before the 15th century, navigating the open seas was like a game of chance, a bit of guesswork, and a dash of luck. Navigators were using methods like dead reckoning and celestial navigation, but let's be real, those were not reliable at all. Enter the heroes of the hour, the astrolabe, quadrant, and sextant. These practical gadgets gave navigators the power to pinpoint their exact location at sea. Then, in the late 15th century, Pedro Nunes developed his game-changing cross staff, making altitude measurement much more accurate. And that was just the beginning. The 18th century brought us the mighty sextant. Now, let's set sail with the caravels. These were no ordinary ships. They were like the Ferraris of the sea. Reinforced hulls, triangular sails, stronger masts. These 65-foot-wide boats were built to take on the wildest waves and come out on top. Plus, they had enough storage space to rival a floating warehouse. No more worrying about running out of resources on those long journeys. But wait, there's more. Cartography got a serious upgrade too. Detailed maps became the explorers' go-to choices, helping them navigate uncharted waters like pros. These maps weren't just about finding their way. They carried information about local plants, animals, and cultures. It's like the ultimate explorer's toolkit. Ever find yourself wondering what the heavy hitters of exploration stumbled upon during that age of epic quests? Brace yourself for some seriously groundbreaking discoveries that shaped our understanding of the world. Let's start it off with a big one, the New World, that's also known as the Americas. Back in 1492, Christopher Columbus was on a mission for a shortcut to Asia and accidentally bumped into this whole new continent. Imagine his surprise. It wasn't Asia, but the Americas were a game changer. Columbus cracked open the door to a whole new world, paving the way for a whole new world of possibilities, colonization, and resource exploitation. Then there's the sea route to India, the spice center. Europeans were dreaming of a sea route to India for that spice jackpot. In 1497, Gama made it happen. The trade route he established was like hitting the jackpot for European powers. But it wasn't all about lands. It was about what they held. It also led to the discovery of new species and resources. In 1500, Pedro Álvarez Cabral hit the jackpot again, uncovering Brazil's stash of gold and diamonds. And in 1519, Ferdinand Magellan sniffed out the Philippines' spice haven, turning the region into a hot spot for trade. But it's not just about stuff, it's about people too. Explorers stumbled upon cultures with unique languages, customs, and beliefs. Picture Francisco Pizarro meeting the Inca Empire in 1542, or Willem Janszoon encountering Australia's indigenous folks in 1606. Vasco da Gama was the first diplomat of the sea, striking up relations with India's King Manuel I in 1498. It was the beginning of a cultural and economic connection between Europe and Asia. Similarly, in 1519, Spanish explorer Hernán Cortés was shaking hands with Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II, kicking off a major cultural exchange between Europe and Mesoamerica. Let's shine a light on the not-so-glamorous side of the age of exploration, shall we? While we're often wowed by the epic discoveries and triumphs of that era, there's a darker tale that deserves some attention. First off, imagine the devastating impact on indigenous populations. As European powers spread their wings, establishing colonies and trade networks across the Americas, Africa, and Asia, things got messed up. Local folks faced brutal treatment, enslavement, and a forced switch to Christianity. It's like the darker chapters of history that aren't in the spotlight. It's quite heart-wrenching to learn how these populations coped with such upheaval. Then there's the resource exploitation game. European powers were hungry for gold, silver, and spices, and they didn't mind wreaking havoc on local populations and ecosystems to get what they wanted. The result: environmental chaos and resource depletion on a grand scale. Think of it as a not-so-green exploration spree. And let's not forget the drama between European powers. Competing for resources and territories led to wars and conflicts, leaving a trail of destruction and loss of life. But it didn't stop there. The conflicts also played a hand in spreading diseases like smallpox and measles, hitting local populations hard. Lastly, there's the issue of social and economic inequalities. European powers were calling the shots, subjecting locals to brutal treatment and forced labor. Meanwhile, they reserved the lucrative positions for themselves. The result: a legacy of economic disparities and social inequality that still influences our global society today. As we wrap up this exploration into the shadows of the age of exploration, remember that history is a multifaceted tale. We've delved into the triumphs and the tribulations, the highs and the lows. If you're as fascinated by the intricacies of history as we are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Join the community here at How They Lived to uncover more untold stories, witness the human experience in all its complexity, and explore the depths of our shared past. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep unraveling the rich tapestry of history together. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep exploring with How They Lived.